Have you ever met someone who seems quiet and reserved yet suddenly surprises you with deep insights? Someone who cares deeply about people but often keeps their own emotions hidden? If so, you may have encountered an INFJ. The INFJ personality type, also known as the advocate, is the rarest of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types. Making up just 1–2% of the population, INFJs have a unique way of thinking and interacting with the world. Their personality is a mix of contradictions, which often confuses those around them. They are logical yet deeply emotional, introverted yet social when needed, and empathetic yet secretive about their own feelings. In this video, we'll explore 6 hidden INFJ traits that make them difficult to understand. These characteristics set them apart and sometimes leave others feeling puzzled. If you've ever felt misunderstood as an INFJ or struggled to understand an INFJ in your life, this video will give you insight into their world. By the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of why they behave the way they do. 1. Now, let's dive into the first hidden INFJ trait. 2. Paradoxical nature. Logical, yet emotional. One of the most confusing traits of an INFJ is how they balance logic and emotion. At first glance, they may appear highly rational, analyzing situations carefully and making well-thought-out decisions. However, at the same time, they are deeply emotional beings who feel things on an intense level. This paradox can confuse people who expect individuals to be either logical thinkers or emotionally driven, but not both. For example, an INFJ can give a friend logical advice on handling a breakup while still deeply feeling their friend's pain. They do not let emotions cloud their judgment, but that does not mean they don't experience them. Their introverted intuition, NI, allows them to see patterns and predict outcomes, which makes them seem highly logical. At the same time, their extroverted feeling, FEI, gives them a strong connection to others' emotions. This combination means they often make decisions that balance what makes sense logically with what feels right emotionally. However, this mix of logic and emotion can make them seem inconsistent. One moment they might be detached and analytical, and the next, they could be deeply empathetic and caring. This confuses people who expect a consistent personality at all times. The key to understanding an INFJ is to know that both their logical side and emotional side are equally important. They do not switch between them randomly. Instead, they use both aspects together, allowing them to navigate the world with both intelligence and compassion. Extroverted introverts, NFJs, are true introverts, but they often don't appear that way. Unlike stereotypical introverts who prefer solitude all the time, INFJs can be surprisingly social when the situation calls for it. They are often mistaken for extroverts because they have strong social skills, engage deeply in conversations, and genuinely care about the people around them. However, their social energy is limited. Unlike true extroverts, who feel energized by social interactions, INFJs find them draining. They may appear outgoing at a party, engaging in deep conversations, and making people feel special. But after a few hours, they'll need time alone to recharge. This can confuse friends and family. One day, an INFJ might seem completely social, laughing and chatting with everyone. The next day, they may disappear for a while, needing time to be alone and process their emotions. People who don't understand this might think the INFJ is being moody or distant, but in reality, they just need solitude to regain their energy. INFJs are also selective about their social interactions. They are not interested in small talk or casual friendships. Instead, they crave deep, meaningful conversations with people who share their values and interests. If they seem engaged in a conversation, it's because they find it genuinely interesting, not because they enjoy talking for the sake of talking. Understanding this INFJ trait can help people avoid misunderstandings. INFJs are not antisocial, but they do have limited energy for socializing. They may seem like extroverts at times, but deep down, they are true introverts who need alone time to stay balanced. Intuitive insights. One of the most fascinating traits of an INFJ is their strong intuition. This can make them seem almost psychic to those who don't understand how it works. INFJs have an incredible ability to sense things before they happen, often picking up on patterns, hidden emotions, or future possibilities that others miss. This intuition comes from their dominant cognitive function, introverted intuition, NI. NI allows INFJs to analyze subtle cues, behaviors, and trends, connecting dots in ways that others don't see. This is why INFJs often have a gut feeling about people or situations, and they're usually right. For example, an INFJ might sense that a friend is upset before the friend even says anything. They might predict that a job opportunity will fail based on small inconsistencies in how it was presented. While others rely on concrete evidence, INFJs trust their intuition, which can be hard for logical thinkers to understand. This ability often confuses people because INFJs struggle to explain how they know things. If someone asks, "How did you know that?" an INFJ may not have a clear answer. Their insights come from unconscious mental processing, not logical steps. This can make them seem mysterious or even strange to others. However, this doesn't mean INFJs always trust their intuition. Sometimes they second-guess themselves, especially if their insights don't align with external evidence. But more often than not, their intuition proves correct in the long run. This deep sense of knowing makes INFJs valuable in fields that require problem-solving, creativity, or emotional intelligence. It also makes them great at understanding people, even when those people don't understand themselves. Deep empathy. Coupled with selective openness, INFJs are often called emotional sponges because they absorb the emotions of those around them. They have a strong ability to feel what others feel, sometimes even before the person realizes their own emotions. This deep empathy is one of their most defining traits, but it can also be one of the most confusing. Unlike other empathetic people who openly express their own emotions, INFJs tend to keep their personal feelings hidden. This creates a strange paradox. They deeply understand others, but rarely allow others to understand them. For example, an INFJ may spend hours listening to a friend's struggles, offering emotional support and thoughtful advice. But when the conversation shifts to the INFJ's own problems, they may shut down or change the subject. This confuses people who assume that because the INFJ is so open with others' emotions, they must also be open with their own. This selectiveness comes from two main reasons. INFJs are highly private individuals. They fear being misunderstood, so they only share their inner thoughts with those they completely trust. They do not want to burden others. Since they already absorb other people's emotions, they don't want to add to anyone else's stress. As a result, INFJs often feel like they are there for everyone, but no one is there for them. This can lead to emotional exhaustion and feelings of loneliness. To truly understand an INFJ, people need to earn their trust over time. Once that happens, INFJs will slowly reveal their inner world, showing just how deep and complex they really are. Perfectionist tendencies. INFJs are perfectionists at heart. They set high standards for themselves and others, often pushing beyond what is realistic. While this drive for excellence can lead to great success, it can also cause stress and frustration, especially when things don't go as planned. Unlike some perfectionists who focus on small details, INFJs have a big picture perfectionism. They want their entire life to align with their values and ideals. If something feels off, whether it's a job, relationship, or personal project, they struggle to ignore it. For example, an INFJ may have a vision for their dream career and work tirelessly toward it. If they end up in a job that doesn't match their values, they may feel deeply dissatisfied, even if the job is considered good by society's standards. They want meaning in what they do, not just success. This perfectionism also affects their relationships. INFJs expect deep, meaningful connections and may struggle with surface-level friendships or casual dating. They invest heavily in the people they care about, sometimes expecting the same level of effort in return, which not everyone can meet. However, this perfectionism can also lead to self-criticism. INFJs may feel like they are never good enough, constantly analyzing their own actions and decisions. This internal pressure can result in burnout, anxiety, or self-doubt. The key for INFJs is to balance their high standards with self-compassion. Accepting that imperfection is part of life can help them reduce stress and focus on what truly matters. Conflict avoidance. INFJs are natural peacemakers, preferring harmony over conflict in their personal and professional relationships. While this makes them compassionate and understanding, it also leads to one of their most confusing traits: their tendency to avoid conflict at all costs. Unlike some personality types that thrive in debates or direct confrontation, INFJs find conflict emotionally draining. They will often go out of their way to keep the peace, sometimes at the expense of their own needs. This can confuse people who assume that INFJs are strong-willed in other areas but seem passive when it comes to disagreements. For example, an INFJ may stay silent in a group argument, even if they have strong opinions. Rather than engaging in confrontation, they may try to mediate the situation or simply remove themselves from it. This can make others think they are indecisive or uninterested, when in reality, they are just trying to protect their emotional energy. However, INFJs do have their limits. When their personal values are seriously challenged, they can surprise people with their intensity. If an INFJ has been tolerating mistreatment for too long, they may suddenly cut ties without warning. This can shock those who assume the INFJ was okay with everything, when in reality, they were just suppressing their feelings. To truly understand an INFJ, people need to respect their need for peace, while also recognizing that their silence does not always mean agreement. Encouraging them to express their thoughts in a safe space can help them feel comfortable opening up rather than withdrawing. INFJs are one of the most complex and misunderstood personality types. Their paradoxical nature, logical yet emotional, introverted yet social, empathetic yet private, often leaves others confused by their behavior. However, these traits are what make INFJs truly unique. By understanding these 6 hidden traits, we can appreciate INFJs for who they really are. Whether you are an INFJ yourself or have one in your life, learning to see the world through their eyes can lead to deeper connections and greater mutual understanding. Do you relate to any of these INFJ traits? Let us know in the comments below.